So, all right, who likes top ramen, right? Or who likes all right, 3, 2, 1, and scene. Hey, ramen noodles. I'm sure there's a good handful of people who love ramen noodles, right? I know I love some ramen noodles. In fact, growing up, we used to go down to the liquor store, and they were $4 lifesavers, right? Pack of what is it, either Maruchan or the top ramen. $4 used to be a quarter at Sunset Market. Woo! But one of the things that was a delicacy was cup noodles, right? Whenever we had the opportunity to get our hands on some cup noodles, ooh wee, and then sipping that the little broth left over. But anyways, right? Today I'm talking about my design, one of my designs, which was cup noodles, original style ramen, saucy flavor. So this design came about, right? A friend of a family, their child was turning, was I think he was like turning 15, 16, something like that. But it was his birthday. And me and Early always try to find out what we could give people for birthday, what they like. And they said that he liked cup noodles. I was like, shoot, me too, bro. Nah, but cup noodles. And I was like, well, I'll do designs. Maybe I could do a design, and throw it on a t-shirt, on a sweater. So, I had my little printer that I could print out designs on and stuff. And this is when I started making the designs, right? And so looked up some inspiration for the cup noodles, and I was like, well, red and yellow seems to be the traditional of when it comes to food, right? It's supposed to like inspire you to eat. However, red and yellow gives like that kind of like royal, like kind of like royal feel to me, like old palace. And so I was like, I want to do that. So I, picked a font. Try to, well, not like the main cup noodles font, but the taglines on the bottom, the original style ramen and saucy flavor. It reminded me of like Japanese lettering. And I like words, right? So original, authentic, organic, those are words that I like. And I know cup noodles may not be like the original ramen. However, I'm gonna just throw original up on there because I'm an original guy. Nah. But I like the word original, like original. And saucy flavor, didn't really have a distinct flavor. Well, I was gonna put chicken flavor, beef flavor, shrimp flavor, spicy lemon, chile. Nah, but I was like, it's saucy flavor because, we stay, popping my collar. However, I was like, saucy flavor. I'm just put it a saucy flavor, give it my little signature pink. That's the color of my Da Vinci dog. Da Vinci Poo's tongue is that pink. So I try to keep it in that. Just because. And, I like to do, I like off-white. I think the color off-white is just very timeless, right? It always makes it feel like typewriting paper or, just like a little vintage style, so off-white always like, that's like my go-to color. uh, but I worked it together, obviously wanted to keep the cup noodle detail, and I was like looking like, hey, some brands call their stuff cup noodle and some places call it cup noodles. And so yeah, American. Nah. However, I created the design, and I was like, yeah, got it. That's what's up. And I was toying around with it. I was like, I'm gonna throw the little dog on there. That would be cool. Throw my little dog on there. If I had my own cup noodle brand or cup noodle company, I'll be like, throw my dog on there. After all, like I was inspired by Hello Kitty, and I wanted to try to like integrate my character as much as possible in what I am doing. And so that's why, I had that little color and maybe some gray in there. Maybe I took the gray out. I don't have the design in front of me right now. I'm just talking off of. And yeah, so I wanted to incorporate the dog, which I did a design where I incorporated my dog character in there, DAVINCHI POO, off to the side. And I upped one even better. I decided to put the cup noodle design in front of DAVINCHI POO and line it up, because you know, like the dimension of the character looks like he's off to the side, right? Like he's boom. And I was amazed. I was like, it just works. It looks like he's standing behind the cup noodles, like about to mess it up. I was about to drop the F word. But it just came out perfect, you know, and I was like just very, very happy about it. So I want to say that was the design that I put on, as you know, for his birthday present on his sweater. And you know, I had also got some sweats, so I made like a little toothpiece, like well, I got him you know, like the sweats and a crew neck, and then I did like a regular sweater, and it just came out very nice. And I was like, wow, like just when you let your imagination or your creativity run. I'm a huge believer in Jesus Christ, God, and I feel like God has always directed my steps when it comes to my creativity, and I owe a lot of my creativity to the one and only. And I do always pray over my designs, or before I start designing, because of that. Like, I don't want my designs to be misconstrued for something negative or whatever, you know. Like there's a lot of like negativity that I hear, or rumors come from like Pokemon or the Disney characters. And like my thing is just to be conscious about it and just ask God to guide my pen when I'm creating these designs, because I don't want to be affiliated or associated with that other side of things. But back to the cup noodles and DAVINCHI POO, it just worked out, you know. And that's how like a lot of my creations and characters, drawings, logos, designs, illustrations, they just all worked out. And yeah, it just came together, and I was like, I got something now. Like I'm gonna do different variations with my dog, and just this style could work. So yeah, DAVINCHI POO, original style ramen, saucy flavor, cup noodles. Maybe one day, right? And yeah, that's all I got right now for in regards to that design, and look forward to talking more about my other designs, and maybe if I'm creating something new. So yeah, cup noodles. We love them, we like them, and I ain't never heard nobody say they hate them. Always coming in clutch. Peace.